Live from Wisconsin, we get set to welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are getting set to welcome a brand new league here to Green Flag TV. It's round number 1 of the Precision Motorsports League here today from Elkhart Lake and Road America. My name is Alabama, bringing you all the action from start to finish. Jake McCuller, hopefully we'll be joining us before too much longer here today, but for now you get my lovely voice taking you through tonight's racing action here tonight. Right now, 22 cars out there trying to qualify their way into this race, and it is set to be quite the season opener. 1 hour and 45 minutes ahead of us. Going to make this a true test of endurance. Not the traditional rapid-fire sprints like what we see at Aspire and in Motor City Racing, but also not the long-winded driver change and endurance races like we see in the VSA Sports Car Championship, like what we will be seeing tomorrow afternoon. But that still said, there's still plenty of action yet to be had here today, because while yes, it's an hour and 45 minutes, no driver changes. Drivers are in the cars right out of the gate all the way through until the checkered flag, meaning this is going to be a true test of endurance for a lot of folks in this field on the afternoon. We're, of course, going to take a look at the schedule coming up for the championship. 1 hour and 45 minute races. That is what is on offer for every single race here this season. We start today in Road America. Next week, we swing out west to the Long Beach Street Circuit on May 22nd. That'll be 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from then, it is, of course, at the Sebring International Raceway to kick off June. Then we head across the seas to our lone international race in Portugal. Going to racing at the Algarve International Raceway, also known as Portimao. That'll be on June 19th. Hop back stateside, back to the Northeast. We'll race in upstate New York at Watkins Glen International. And while most IMSA leagues have a tendency to start at Daytona, for PML, they are going to be closing things off at the Sunshine State at the end of July, with the Daytona International Speedway playing host to the season finale after 6 weeks of racing. 4 classes are on offer for us here this afternoon: GTPs, LMP2s, GTD Pro, and GTD-AM. Only one contender has registered for the GTP field this afternoon. That is, of course, Christian Hill, our very own. You're going to have 8, make that 9 cars in LMP2, and of course, from there, 5 of the GTD Pros and 6 more in GTD-AM. So we are getting set to duke things out as we are gearing up for racing action on the afternoon. And overall, racing action here looking like it's going to be a pretty solid run, I think, for a majority of the field. So I think for today, 21 degrees Celsius, 17 kilometers an hour. We're going to change that over to imperial units. Of course, this is an American series. 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 miles an hour of wind blowing off towards the northeast. Going to make this a bit of a show here as well. So a lot of crosswinds drivers to contend with on a very, very cold racetrack. Going to make this a true test for the field this afternoon. All drivers are effectively set on their qualifying, by the way. It's a 15-minute session, but only 4 laps. It is single car qualifying. Going to make it a bit more interesting here as well. So overall, with 60 seconds left on the docket here, this race going to be, I think, a bit of a doozy for a good chunk of drivers here on the afternoon. Right now, Braxton Jarrett holding the pole position in LMP2. Alex Cofford, many will recognize him as the second winningest driver in the beer league, over 20 wins to his name over in the beer league. Currently racing the Porsche Cups on Wednesday nights. He is sitting first place in GTD Pro, and the AM class will actually hold Kevin McLaughlin, who, by the way, McLaughlin qualified second in the combined GT3 field, which means he is faster than all but one of the GT3s this afternoon. And of course, the big, I think, story coming into today as well, going to not just be the fact that he's faster than all but one of them, but the fact that there's no balance of performance being utilized on any of our GT3 cars here on the afternoon. So that means that for a good chunk of drivers, they're going to have to rely on a lot of the actual car horsepower on a very high-speed track to get themselves into victory lane at the end of the day. No VOP means this becomes much more down to the car as well as the driver behind the wheel. So we are going to get set for racing action here on the afternoon as we are gearing up for a fresh batch of action here on the day. And, well, it's looking like it could be a bit of a fun one right now. we are going to get set to see who will start where for racing action on the afternoon. So we're going to get set to see which one is going to be on offer for us here today. It'll of course, be Christian Hill, our very own, the lone GTP car on the afternoon, starting this race from pole position here this afternoon. And, of course, we'll head things back quickly to the LMP2s. And I've never had a one-car grid in the class before. That's a new one for me. How about this? Helix 9 Motorsports teammates Braxton Jarrett, Trent Blalock going to be starting this race, numbers 1 and 2, separated by just half a tenth of a second at the top end of the field. Looking like it is going to be a pretty stellar drive here for a good chunk of folks here on the afternoon. Row number 2 on the LMP2 field, it's going to be the likes here of Anthony Hutchinson. He is bringing it up alongside Declan Durba for Tabula Rasa Esports in row number 2. Row 3, Brooks Clayton will be running alongside Tyler Augustino. 2 more Beer League regulars. And then, of course, row 4 will hold Dusty Blalock. Also for Helix 9 Motorsports, he is alongside Yahaim Cardi Richardson down in number 8. From there, 9-car LMP2 field will be headed up by Paul Smith from Make Way Endurance, bringing up the tail of the field in LMP2. So moving on down to the GTD Pros, where you got yourself Alex Coffin now sitting this one on pole position with a huge-ass number 22 Corvette. He is alongside Corey Sertoff for the full Send Endurance GT entry in his Porsche 911 GT3. Almost a full tenth of a second off the pace. Ron Wolf back in the McLaren will be sitting this one in third, alongside Christopher Santiago down in fourth. And continuing on from there, you're going to have yourself with the likes of Austin Tucker rounding out the GTD Pro field. GTD AMS going to be bringing it up for Kevin McLaughlin. He is in the Full Send Endurance GT machine. He is alongside Parker Strandret in the lone Lamborghini in this field. Moving down row 2, Stephen Luttrell will be in the Helix 9 Motorsports Corvette. He is alongside Matt Ulmer from Mediocre Motorsports. Row 3 on the field, you, of course, have Carson Calaverhill Satin. He is alongside Corey Barrett in the BMW. Row 4, holding Mark Myers in the Ferrari down in the 7th place spot. So that is it then. Field is set, and we are getting set for racing action here this afternoon. One lone formation lap on the day. So overall, it's set to be quite the long race, I think, for a good chunk of this field. 1 hour and 45 minutes on the cards for us, as we are going to gear this one up for racing action on the afternoon. Anticipated to be quite the wild show here today. A 22-car field spread across 4 classes. Going to mean that lap traffic could very well play a bit of a smaller impact than we're used to seeing in these types of sports car races. And we are going to be very much in this one for the long haul, and well, we are gearing up to duke this one out all over again. Christian Hill, the lone GTP, already building a 7.5 second advantage ahead of the field. No surprise there. He's going to have a lonely ride in the lone Cadillac here in the field. I almost feel bad for Christian Hill, but hey, you know what they say, a win's a win, even if there is only one class in the field, as we are going to continue to work our way around this very long formation lap. Drivers doing what they can to try to get some heat into the tires. There is your GT3 field combined, of course. Kevin McLaughlin in the 777 for Full Send Endurance GT, starting number 2 in the GT3 field as a whole, besting all but one of those contenders. And, well, we are gearing up for racing action this afternoon. Going to welcome in my co-commentator here. It is Jacob Kohler, who will be bringing the action alongside myself. Jacob, qualifying in the books, formation lap underway. Looking like we're going to be in for a fun night.
Oh, yes, baby. GTs, there's going to be a lot of beating and banging. This is where the fun happens. This is where the fun begins, and this is going to be a great race tonight, Nolan.
So working our way down towards the King. Only one GTP. For Christian Hill, the race is all about traffic management. Do you reckon he approached this race any differently and now that he doesn't have any competition? Or is this just going to be, well, let's see how many fast laps I can rip out here in one afternoon?
Honestly, there's no, with the equipment difference between you and the rest of the field, there's no point in going super hard, going super crazy. Just get that fastest lap and then cruise around for the easiest points of your life. I mean, this is a season-changing race right here. Very rarely do things like this happen in this sport, and he would be an absolute fool not to take full advantage by just cruising around and bringing it home in one piece.
I mean, heck, you could argue that all he needs to do is turn the one lap, then pull it off the racetrack. He still gets his points for winning the dang thing in his class. He won't win the overall race, of course, but you don't get scored points overall here. I think the real story today is going to be the LMP2s. It's a 9-car field. One driver, Anthony Hutchinson, starting this race from pit road at the tail end of the field. So that's going to be quite the show here as well. And as we get set to kick this race off, we get set to welcome a brand new league to the Green Flag TV fold, and it is going to be the loneliest race start you have ever seen in your life as Christian Hill comes over the top of the hill. Green flag going to drop officially. We are underway, and Christian Hill, just like that, has won the opening race of the season in GTP. The real story is from LMP2 on down.
Yeah, look at them go. They are moving down that front straightaway. It is going to be a great night tonight. Looking straight out of a movie as they barrel into turn one.
Braxton Jarrett holding on. One car going out wide. That is Declan Durba dropping down the field. Everyone else in lockstep. And Anthony Hutchinson just now leaving pit road. Look at this for GT3. Meanwhile, Kevin McLaughlin in the M category trying to challenge for the overall GT3 lead here as they hightail it down into turn number 3 now. So far, it's still Crawford leading the way. Jumping back out to the LMP2s here, making that look down into turn 5. It's going to be Tyler Augustino. He's going to take the spot away from Jahan Cardi Richardson.
Very smooth racing right there. You can see how he lets the car kind of roll through the corner. Nobody's getting super aggressive as it is the first few laps here. But let me tell you, these guys are getting ready to...
They were ready to fight there for sure. Look at Ron Wolf fighting it out with Christopher Santiago. This is for second place in the GTD Pro field. And just like that, the 33 punches his way past Ron Wolf. Wolf's able to hold on to the number 3 spot for the time being. Corey Surdoff, the only other contender in the GTD Pro field, started his race on pit road. So effectively, they're fighting for the last spot up for grabs. So this is going to continue to fight its way on through. There is Wolf. Santiago, one car off the road. That's the GTDM leader, Kevin McLaughlin, into the tires.
Oh no! It doesn't look like he has too much damage on it. I think I saw the rear make contact with those tires, but overall, the car still looks like it's in decent shape. Go down pit road, get that thing fixed. Let's try and get ourselves back in this race. We see Christopher Santiago making his way around in second place, trying to chase down Alex Crawford.
Crawford 1.2 seconds up the road, and I would not be surprised if Crawford is able to run away with this one. Talked about it before. He has got many wins under his belt when it comes to beer league competition. In fact, Crawford, at the moment in the beer league, he is repping 27 career wins, so he is no stranger to victory lane. He would love to take one away in the next race in this one. Anthony Hutchinson cutting through the GT3 field. He is going to be eager to run down his fellow LMP2 competitors. Speaking of LMP2 competitors, Trem Blalock as well as Bruce Clayton fighting for second.
Look at that. They are side by side trying to get as much of an aerodynamic advantage as he can as they come around this nice kind of like half corner here. Gonna try and pull the switch back, can't quite get there. Looks like for the time being, Trent Blalock is going to have your second spot in the LMP2 field.
Just for now. So far, we've been doing a pretty good job on getting everything up and rolling here. Still have a long way to go, though. And you have to imagine we are going to be in it for the long haul for sure. But right now, racing action set to continue to kick off in earnest here this afternoon, especially the LMP2s, often one of the more competitive prototype fields throughout iRacing. Of course, the LMP1s effectively have gone the way of the Dodo Bird, leaving just the LMP2s, now the GTPs to take their spot. There's Christopher Santiago, one of our pro entries, having another off.
Yep, he's got damage to that front left. That is going to be a big problem throughout the race if he doesn't go ahead and get that fixed now. He's still got an hour and 41 minutes to try and make up for the time he's going to lose here, but already 12 seconds down, and that gap is only going to get bigger.
And he's not the only one. Carson Catlin in the AM class has gone around now, so it's been complete calamity in the GT3 field throughout the entire night so far. While LMP2s have been in lockstep. We'll get a look at all of these different spins once things have settled down a little bit, but for now, we got fights all over the place, says Tyler Augustino, right to the gearbox of his teammate Brooks Clayton, and as you can see, not eager to go for the overtake. He's more playing rear gunner support from Carter Richardson behind.
Yep, he is going to come under fire. Look at that. That 69 car. He might get his nose in there. He just barely couldn't get a run coming out of that corner. But these three are going to be moving in lockstep for the foreseeable future. And it looks like Carter Richardson is going to get to the inside. He gets himself alongside, trying to make his way into this corner. Can he get it done?
Be a tight fit, but we've seen 2Y working turn 5 already today. Hard on the brakes for Augustino, trying to outbrake the 69 entry. But Augustino forces the move, and he is going to punch his way clear and maintain that spot behind his teammate just a little ways up the field. As all of this continues on, let's start to get a look back at some of what has gone down on the opening laps of this race. This was Kevin McLaughlin in the GTDM field, as he just lost that all by himself coming to the carousel. That was on lap 1 as well, as he backed it pretty hard into the fence. From there, Christopher Santiago had this slide, and yet again by himself, that time going nose first into the wall. And Carson Catlin, I believe, backed it into a wall as well.
Yeah, it looks like all three of these are going to be self-spins here. Not sure if it's just due to the tires being cold. I know a lot of times it is harder to make that transition, especially when you've been practicing for a little while, getting used to how those warm tires feel, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the race and don't have any grip. So maybe we'll see that kind of slow down as the day continues. Meanwhile, Tyler Augustino is still trying to chase down JCR, who has made the pass on him for 5th place here.
A pass has been made, and now trying to catch up to him before he can get to his teammate Brooks Clayton up the road. No look being made here into turn 1. A little further in the field. Oh, look out off the road into the gravel. Goes Parker Stendre. That's going to allow Stephen Latrail through for the GTDM lead.
And that is a crucial mistake. One of the big parts of endurance racing when it comes to overtaking is just slowly kind of applying that pressure to your opponent, right? You don't got to get it all in one corner, and you certainly don't got to get it all in one lap, right? These races go on for 2, 4, 6, 12, sometimes even 24 hours. And yeah, you definitely don't have to get it all in one corner. Just kind of being in your opponent's rear view mirror and just making sure that they know that they cannot make a mistake, and that could cause them to make one, and you saw that happen right there.
Declan Durba continuing to apply pressure to Augustino a little ways up the field. LMP2s, as always, one of the tighter classes so far. The GTDs have shown a lot of separation, at least in the opening salvo. While the LMP2s are, for the most part, not separated by more than 1 second from each other. That is exactly what you want to see from a class, especially a prototype class, right? Making it nice and interesting for us. VSCA is no stranger to LMP2 shenaniganry, and it's often one of the more entertaining prototype classes. What is it, do you think, about these LMP2s in particular that makes them so compelling to watch? Because the GTPs didn't get this kind of close racing. The old LMP2s didn't. The old LMP1s didn't. Even the Daytona prototypes from way back when didn't get this kind of action.
Honestly, and this is something that has always been appealing to me. I'm going to the in real life Le Mans race here in June, and I am so excited to see these things in real life because there is no greater test of driver skill and car knowledge than a spec series. That is what has always been so special about LMP2, is that everybody's basically driving the same car with a few modifications here and there, obviously with this new modern iteration. And this is more of a test of, oh, we got one sideways off the track. Looks like that's one of the other GTD pros. Not quite sure from that little flash that we got. It's the 972. No, excuse me, that's Matt Ulmer of the GTM class, and he is stuck. Could potentially see yellow flags or even a red one if he can't get that thing moving again. Looks like he is going to get it moving. But as I was saying, yeah, the thing that is so appealing about LMP2 is about the fact that it is the ultimate test of driver skill and car knowledge. How to make a car go fast and how to make a car keep going fast. Because let me tell you, all of those cars are pretty much exactly the same under the hood. We're going to get a replay and what happened to Matt Ulmer, and again, another self-spin. Those cold tires just not helping him out. Luckily, he's able to keep it out of the wall, so good reaction from him. Obviously, it's very tempting to keep your foot in it there, but he makes the right call.
I mean, back end just went around like it was nothing. Usually there's a little bit more lead up to that, but the way that swung around, he had no chance to prepare for that car. No chance of saving it either. Quite an abnormal spin, you could say, from Ulmer there, down at turn number 1. For the lead in LMP2, Jarrett and Trent Blalock continuing to run 1-2, but again, with these being Helix 9 Motorsports teammates here, they're going to be in no hurry to fight it out for the lead as well. I'm sure they're just enjoying running the way with now a 5.8 second advantage on the rest of the field.
Yep, and as that advantage gets bigger, Christian Hill setting your new fastest lap, 1:52.1029. Somehow I'm not surprised about that. However, things could come down to the wire here as this race goes on. We might see these two teammates start to fight each other like a couple of unnamed Porsche drivers did a couple of years back. Who knows?
Oh, dear. Oh, the memories. you say two unnamed Porsche drivers, and I have to just ask which ones. There's been so many nondescript incidents. Still have Clayton and Carter Richardson nose the tail. And that number 69 entry doing what he can to try and continue working this advantage here. Haven't seen too much in the way of overspeed from the LMP2s here today. They really are relying mostly on the slipstream. Like you said, with this being a spec series, which obviously that's not the case in the real world, but with only the Dallara V217 here on iRacing, you have to imagine that it's going to make things a little bit more tenuous in battles like these. For the life of me, I will never understand why iRacing has not expanded the LMP2 category, considering the amount of love it's gotten since the P217 came on board, but it is what it is, and I'm almost happy they haven't expanded on it because it gives us racing like this.
Yeah, 100%. I think it might have something to do, I was going to say it might be due to the popularity of just other types of racing, and it might just be lower on their priority list, but you're absolutely right. I have seen it a lot more recently than I really ever have, so maybe we'll see something. Maybe they got something in the works coming in the future. Either way, JCR for a minute there looked like he was on a rampage through this field. Now the gap up to 1 second between him and Brooks Clayton. Looks like he wants to try and settle down into this one for the long haul as well.
Tail end of the GTDM field, it's the battle of the Porsches. Matthew Ulmer and Kevin McLaughlin. 3.5 tenths of a second separating this pairing as they are fighting for not last. It'll be 6th place overall to the GTDM field. These guys now running over a minute behind Carson Catlin, next driver up in their category. Now, obviously, that is because both of these drivers have encountered some significant incidents in the early portions of this race, but still on the lead lap. And if something goes awry in the rest of their category, a significant chance to make this one work. What a shame for McLaughlin, though, right? Started this race from pole. What a way to kick off your season.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the main determiner of what a champion is made of. Grit, toughness, right? Bad things are going to happen. No race is perfect. No season is perfect. And a lot of the championship winning ones are, you could argue, some of the furthest things from perfect. And it's all that matters is how you bounce back, how you keep going when there is no other option. And it looks like Jaheim Carty Robinson is going to get by one right there. Looks like he got loose a little bit going into this corner here. No, it looks like he is. Oh, he did go off the track. Yeah, that is unfortunate.
That was
Brooks Clayton now behind. Yeah, he's behind the 26 as well now.
Long way off the track.
Cutting the grass out there. Let me tell you what, it is starting to get summertime, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to cut your grass. It will get too tall, and then you'll have snakes, and it's a bad idea.
Yeah, but don't cut it too frequently, though, because it tends to grow back faster if you cut it too often. But right now, Richardson having to work the gap as well. Now 3 tenths of a second between himself and Augustino, leading the way in battle for third. Still dropping time, though, to the top two. 8.6 seconds now in the LMP2 category between third and second place.
Yeah, I think the move here with the gap being so much, you're going to have to push so hard for so long. You're going to use up all of those tires and just potentially get involved in other incidents with other cars. You know, there are 3 other races going on, right? Technically 2 other races, but on paper there are 3 other races going on track right now. Do you really want to burn that much time and that much potential like incidents with other vehicles that are not even in your class trying to get around them? It's definitely a risky maneuver, as they say, and with coming under fire already from Tyler Agostino, I think he might just want to kind of settle into this one and try and hang on to third place here.
And don't look now, but Declan Durba starting to enter the picture as well, making this a potential 4-way fight for third place in the LMP2 category. So it's getting interesting here for the prototype contenders. Already 15 minutes deep into this race on the afternoon. Not seeing too much so far in the way of dramas outside of the opening 5 minutes. Kevin McLaughlin just got around Matthew Ulmer, and this is how he managed to do this.
Like you can see, he sets it up. Great exit out of this corner. Flying down the inside. He knows he's going to be on the outside here, but he's setting himself up and just drives around him. I'm not sure what happened on the 972 right there. But, yeah, looks like Kevin McLaughlin already 1 spot up from where he was, and we still got an hour and a half to go.
Long way, a lot still that could happen in this race. Christian Hill opting not to go for the starting part, by the way. He is working his way through GT3 traffic now. Again, I almost feel bad for Christian Hill, right? Because he's going to be effectively in a Garage 61 car, right? Not talked about too much. You just check in. Once in a while, you'll see him flash by in a camera shot. Otherwise, running a very nondescript race for Hill. I mean, would you even call it a race for him? It's only 1 car that he's racing, and it's himself.
I think I am hesitant to call it a race, but it is technically a race. Just none of his peers showed up, so he's just kind of. Honestly, this is more of a practice session. You know, if you're going to drive this track or this car in other leagues, this is definitely worth sticking around for. But if you're never going to drive this car on this track again, not for a while at least, I don't know if this is worth the time. But he seems to think it is, and he probably knows a little bit more about it than I do, considering he's the one driving and I am the one speaking.
Only 2 other drivers, by the way, registered for GTPs in the lead up to this race. Those drivers being Kyle Blevins and Ryan Flanagan, both of which are not present here this afternoon, which does, I guess, make it a little bit interesting, right, to see so few drivers register for the GTP. Usually, it is one of the more popular prototype classes as well, but evidently not so much here. So Hill, with his choice of manufacturer being the Cadillac, will get that freebie, and that sets him on track to potentially come out and win the championship here as well. Matthew Ulmer into pit road. Unsure why, but it looks like he has had a significant incident. So is Mark Myers, who's into the tires.
Oh,
and he's backed into it again.
Oh, no, not the spoiler.
Oh,
no,
you're
you've lost all your downforce, Mark Myers. What in the world?
In true Ferrari fashion.
Backs it. Oh, God, he put it in reverse, Terry. He sure did. Oh, my goodness. That's so rough for him.
Does he know is the question.
A long way to go. If he doesn't have a spotter,
he's about to find out.
Yes, yeah. It's going to be like, man, I don't know. It feels so much lighter.
Oh, that's real high speed and going through the kink there without a rear wing. I think he's got just enough downforce to keep that car planted. The Ferrari does have a lot of downforce in of itself, right? So I think that might be what's helping him out here a little bit. I mean, surely he's got to be aware to some degree.
It definitely feels different right about now. You saw he went a little wide on exit there. I think it feels different. I don't know if he's narrowed it down. I think he might think that he just has a little bit more damage than he actually does, but I'm sure he'll figure it out and it'll get fixed on the next trip to pit road. The question is, does he make a stop specifically for that? Speaking of which, going back to Matt Ulmer here, let's see what happened. And it looks like, oh, he's a little loose, keeps his foot in it, and hard into the wall. That is a concrete barrier, and he immediately hits the tow button. That is not good.
And then this was Mark Myers, and this is what initiated that spin. Just lit the tires up on the exit, spun her off, nosed it into the fence. And here he's going to try to get it sorted. Puts it in reverse to back it up, go for the 3-point turn. He's waiting for that hole.
I'm so confused. Why did that need to be a 3-point?
It's the fact that, like, it had to think about it for a second before it came out. It's like, was that hard enough? Yeah, I think it is. We're gonna.
I mean, maybe.
It's like the sim was thinking about. Do we want to punish him for backing it into the tires after he spun it? Yeah, I think he needs that little bit of a lesson taught to him.
I mean, fair, but like that's all pretty self-inflicted at that point. I think there was just I don't know. I'm not really sure why that needed to be a 3-point turn, or why, like, at all that even needed to stop. There was nobody coming.
Well, exactly.
Maybe he just heard something. I don't know. New fastest lap, by the way. It's Christian Hill, 150.919. So he is not just cruising around here. He is moving with a purpose. Let me tell you, and he is doing a great job leading his class, and has been since the start of the race. So, you know, hopefully that continues. Meanwhile, Tyler Agostino is going to make a move on JCR here. He is not going to be able to get the point, or excuse me, he's not going to be able to get the place this go around. But with traffic coming up, he might himself an opportunity.
He thought about it, decided not to commit to it. A lot of traffic in the way, though, now. And while this is going on, a change for the overall class lead as Braxton Jarrett will give the lead over to Trent Blalock over there for the number 3 entry. And holy cow, 3 wide down the front straightaway. Agostino racing with Cardi Richardson side by side into turn number 1. Gonna get a little dicey here. Clayton's still in the mix. Agostino trying to bend that one around the outside. Not able to get it done, though.
Man, JCR is driving a masterclass in defensive driving right here. Always takes away the path of least resistance, forces them to go around the long way, and they just do not have the stuff to make it work at this time. The question is, how much longer till the dam breaks, right? He's already 13 seconds behind second and third. I mean, those guys are just kind of running away with the lead, and I know we've got a long way to go, but generally speaking, getting further away from the leaders is not a great thing. So we'll see if they kick it into gear after this next set of pit stops, and you see Mark Myers is coming down pit road. He has noticed something is definitely wrong with that car.
I wonder what it is.
Yeah, no, it could be anything, really. Not really sure. Anyway, bringing us back, it looks like Tyler Agostino is not going to get another chance in these next few corners to get this overtake. So JCR hangs on to third yet again from another attack.
And they're doing a stellar job on just racing this one out. However, they can muster. They have been having they've been having a great run, haven't they? I mean, it has been non-stop action here between these drivers. And to give an idea of just how far separated they are, look, oh my goodness, oh, into the grass there for Agostino as he tries to make the look right on the outside of JCR. Cardi Richardson fends him off, battle the late breakers, and it'll be JCR running out into Canada corner. But a quick cut to the right side, Agostino still going for it.
Oh, man, almost had it. He went into the grass. I don't know if he got forced over there or what happened, but he does go into the grass trying to get this place. He wants it bad. He nearly loses it on the exit of that last corner, coming down the front straightaway and up the hill. But, man, that was looking dicey there for a second.
And by the way, all of this battling, you see that number 3 on the track back there, that's the overall class leader, and the 26, that's Tyler Agostino. That's how much time they've lost while they've been engaged in this non-stop battle for the last 20 minutes since we went green.
Yeah, they've lost just around 6 seconds here, and Tyler Agostino just cannot manage to get around, and Brooks Clayton is going to be behind him. I wonder if they pull the old switcheroo so Brooks can maybe get by him. We'll see what happens, but I'm not sure, especially with Declan Durba, as you mentioned earlier. He is also on the edge of this fight. If an incident breaks out or something bad happens, God forbid, those guys are going to be there to try and pick up the pieces.
Gonna real quick try to get a look back. By the way, this was when Trent went for the move with the LMP2 class lead, and based on what I was seeing, okay, well, never mind. See, I thought Braxton Jarrett was pulling aside and they were pulling the fuel strategy game. I didn't realize Jarrett had actually gone fully off the racetrack. That explains a lot about why it was so slow.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, actually. I mean, it doesn't make sense why he went off the track. I'm not sure what happened. We couldn't quite get it at the beginning, but we definitely know why Trent is now under fire from Braxton.
Still have this aggressive battle for 5th through 7th picking up as JCR starting to pull away at the top end of the field. at least for that third place spot. Mark Myers will exit pit road after spending almost 2.5 minutes in the box. So making his way onto the racetrack and nearly wiped him out. One of the McLarens in the field of the process at turn 1. So he's going to...
Is that the leader?
Negative. That is Ron Wolf, second place, 12.9 seconds behind the leader.
Dang, I thought he had just gotten put a lap down as he went through. I was like, damn, that's unfortunate.
Fights on for the GTD and race lead, however, as they are going to have quite the battle between themselves. Two Canadians on this one, looking to go nose to tail, and a huge dive, too deep that time by. Way out wide for Parker Strandray. Had no chance of making the corner from that far back.
Oh my goodness, you know, he left it all out on the racetrack. Problem was, it was too much overflowed, right? And yeah, it can be tempting to go for huge maneuvers like that. But yeah, you got to be on the brakes. I understand he didn't want to lock it up, but he almost made that work. Let's give credit where credit is due. He almost made that work. And you can see he is just, good Lord, he just braked so late. Oh my gosh, what a move that would have been. But unfortunately, he will have to wait for another lap.
Arguably longer, because he actually lost so much time for that. Now he's actually stuck behind Corey Barrett in the number 2 spot in the GTDM field. So one of our BMWs now going to be put under fire. In fact, I believe the lone BMW in the field here. So it's been a rough day for a Lamborghini. The brakes evidently not as powerful as some of the other GT3 cars out here.
Yeah, definitely. That was I think the reason he was so like non-committed to the brakes there is just he didn't want to lock him up, because when you lock him up, that's how bad stuff happens most of the time. You just start kind of sliding uncontrollably, and then you know, being that close to the wall, that's just not something that you want to have happen. It looks like Corey Barrett's going to pit lane here. Not really sure what he's doing. Is he getting tires, fuel? What is the play here? I'm not sure if we're going to start seeing green flag pit stops. It's a little bit early. I will be honest, a little bit early to be getting fresh stuff on there, so potentially has some kind of damage or some kind of mechanical issue that we're not tracking here.
It'd be news to me, as Corey Barrett will pull into the box. Curious as to the reasoning for this, like you said, and makes you wonder, maybe we are looking at a potential 2-stopper. I know it was going to be effectively a 2-stopper just about for the LMP2s. The GT3s I could have swore were a 1-stopper, because usually they can go around an hour, but if they can't, well, then who knows? There's no fuel restrictions on the car, so I got no clue what this would be for. Maybe he's...
maybe we missed... I was about to say, maybe we missed like some kind of niche rule somewhere that says you have to make a pit stop every 5 laps. It's green flag pit stops all the time. That'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, that would work, except he's on lap 13.
I mean, yeah, fair. It is, like I said, it is still very, very early to be making those kind of stops for not no reason, but for just standard like gas tires. So, he almost ran into him there. That was close.
Well, so it does make you wonder, right? Now the GT3s don't pit at exactly an hour. Usually a lot of, oh my goodness, hold on, we got big close moments there with the Lamborghini. A bit of a close encounter with Brooks Clay. I'll continue my point in just a moment, but that got dicey in a hurry. The 64 entry has just had problems. But before we get to that, take a look at what happened here with Durba and the Lamborghini.
Looks like he sees it. He knows they're all going to have to try and make their way around it. Can't spend too much time around Parker Standard here. Looks like they're just going to try and go around the outside. And oh my God, dude, that's like 2 millimeters. Oh my God, you couldn't fit a corner in between those cars. Holy moly!
I don't know why the Lamborghini is flashing its headlights. I mean, I don't think they did anything wrong.
I don't know either. I hate the headlight body language kind of deal that comes with endurance racing. That is one thing that I have never really understood. They need to have like a standardized practice. And Dusty Blaylock, this is not live. This is a replay. I just really thought that was actually happening there for a moment. Dusty Blaylock, that was the reason that he was slow at the end of that incident. But that's something that's always bugged me, is that it's my opinion the league should have a standardized like set of like signals that you can do with your headlights. That way everybody is on the same page about what it means. Because I'm gonna be honest, I only know the flashing ones from living out here in Germany on the Autobahn because the freaking BMW that's going
Really?
300 kilometers yeah, 300 kilometers an hour behind you. That's how they let you know they want to pass you. And it's like, dude, there's 2 other lanes. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Just go around. It's not that big of a deal. But no, he'll sit there and he'll keep flashing his lights. So I remember that one. But the other ones can be kind of difficult to interpret.
So there's usually a few ways you can do it. Now, the most common use is just a lap car. For example, LB200 GTD just saying, hey, I'm here. I want to take this spot into the next corner. In that case, I feel like it's fine. Like, you're just giving them the extra heads up. Yep, I'm here. I'm going for it right here. Please don't turn in on me. Sometimes you'll see drivers use it, though, to express frustration. Sometimes celebration. It kind of depends on the driver and the scenario. There's the look. Agostino trying to go for it down the inside of JCR to Canada corner. That's going to be tight. The 69 car pushing out to the left-hand side. Still has the inside into turn 13, and he's going to hold on for the spot.
My gosh, he gets into the grass too. Tyler Agostino almost had it, but JCR keeps his cool. What a great drive from him. And they are coming up on more lap traffic here. And it looks like Declan Durba is going to get around Brooks Clayton, who also went into the grass there.
Clayton with a small off, otherwise no harm, no foul. And you see that really big dive at the inside of JCR. Over aggressive? Probably, but that has given now a half a second buffer to Tyler Agostino, who is stuck behind that McLaren as they came around through turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to tell. Oh, man. It's going to be difficult for them to get around this lap traffic as it starts getting a little bit more numerous. It's going to be difficult for them to keep close to each other as they have. But if these two up here, JCR and Tyler Agostino, continue to fight, Declan Durba and Brooks Clayton are going to be able to get it in gear and catch up in no time. You can already see the gap between them closing.
So far, Matthew Ulmer remains the lone driver that is out of the race. And if I may, I'm going to finally try to get back to my point on why we may have just seen Corey Barrett come down pit road a little while ago, right? Now, the GT3s don't typically run at exactly 1 hour fuel. Sure, that makes it easy for endurance strategies, but in races like this, with no fuel restrictions, they can actually go a good bit over the 1 hour limit. And it does make me wonder if maybe Barrett just took that mandatory pit stop absurdly early, knowing now he could just gun it to the end and be good to go.
I mean, he's already in 4th. I'd be interested to see if he can make it, if he could stretch out his gas for that long, and the tires too. Let's keep that in mind as well. But yeah, definitely one of those things that, you know, it's been a while since we've seen a long run like that. I'm hoping that he pulls it off. I don't know how viable of a strategy it is, but it definitely is something.
It would be interesting to see for sure. I mean, credit to him as there goes Blalock off the road. But credit to Corey Barrett here. What that also means is he doesn't have to worry about any traffic around him except for, you know, the occasional prototype coming by. He is in a completely clean track, no GTD traffic inside, which means he's not being impeded by battles, courtesy of what's been happening in the LP2 class all night long.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see.
And a lock-up!
Oh!
And so,
man.
The Helix 9 Motorsports crew evidently not content on running nose to tail as they just had a fight come to blows in turn 5.
Ooh, they are getting dicey. Here comes Declan Durba. He might try and get down in there, and it looks like JCR is going to hang on to this spot. Looks like they made momentary contact right there for a second. Declan Durba goes wide, and now Brooks Clayton is going to be able to get by him and try and pick him off. Tyler Agostino finally makes his way around Jaheim Cardi Robinson, and now he's got to try and hang on to the other spots as well.
This is why I love Road America. It's nothing but long straights and hard braking zones. Everything a racer could possibly want to engineer a good race. It's a stellar track and one of my personal all-time favorites for exactly that reason. And yet it still manages to maintain enough corners like the carousel that have such a rhythm through them, not to mention the kink here as well. That really does make this one heck of a racetrack. You blast from what feels like open plains now into where you're crowded in by walls and woods. It really is a venue that has a little bit of everything.
I definitely like it. I've only ever been here once in person, but it was definitely a fun time. Again, I'm more of the one, I more enjoy the cars that go in circles as opposed to the cars that actually turn left and are designed to turn left. But with that being said, Road America is definitely a fun venue. If you haven't been, make a point to go. It is definitely a lot of fun. And as you can see, Brooks Clayton is slowly closing in on JCR, who's been forced to fight on the back foot for basically this entire race to try and hang on to whatever positions he can. And he's done a stellar job, but he'll have to keep doing a stellar job for another hour and 11 minutes if he wants this top 5 bad enough.
I know we've been talking a lot about the LMP2s, by the way. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the GTDs. Right now, the answer is nothing. There's nothing going on with the GTDs. The closest gap in that battle between any two spots is 3 seconds. It's for the GTD and race lead. Everything else, for the most part, 10 seconds or more. Crawford still leads the way in GTT Pro. Stephen Luttrell leads the way in GTD Am. Parker Strendre, I keep wanting to say Strand-Day, but no, Stendre trying to run him down as well with the 2.75 second. Yeah, we'll take a look at that if that gets any closer. Off the road is Trent Blalock, and that's going to cost him the lead in LMP2.
Yep, it is. Braxton Jarrett that's the second mistake that he's made like that. And, you got to wonder if there's something maybe wrong with that car. Maybe the brake bias is a little off. We'll have to see. But you can get a replay of he was trying to get around. Corey Barrett, actually, who we were talking about earlier, and he just sends it a little bit too wide. Tire's still cold, and Braxton Jarrett is going to get around him. They do the old swap. Not really that big of a deal considering that they are teammates, but, definitely something that you typically want to avoid doing. Staying on the racetrack is one of those things that you are generally advised to do most of the time. And for those of you that are wondering about GTP, because I know we haven't talked about it a lot, Kristen Hill is still leading in that Cadillac, and he still does have the fastest lap. So,
shocker.
Good on him. Yeah, it's just one of those things because we get a replay of what's going on here. It looks like they were battling pretty hard here.
Yeah, this
earlier,
that was the attempted pass for the race lead, and a huge lock for the 88 saw the number 3 take it right back until they went off the road.
Yeah, that's twice now we've seen somebody just go for an absolutely insane move going into that corner. That could potentially come back to bite somebody later in the race, especially if they lock up and hit that wall, because that is not a lot of gravel between you and the wall coming into that corner. So that is one of those places you cannot afford to make that mistake.
Just saw a flash of the headlights there from Alex Crawford, leader of the GTD Pros, and it makes me wonder if perhaps there's been a near miss here. Usually the GTDs don't do the kind of headlight flashing unless it's something serious, or unless it's your friend, because that is Tyler Augustino that just got around Alex Crawford. And for those that are not in the loop, Augustino and Crawford, regular contenders on Wednesday night's beer league competition. So I think a bit more of a friendly hello going on there from the 22.
I mean, fair enough. Especially, I'm surprised he was able to tell, given the fact that he's driving there's another completely identical car on the track. So props to him for being able to tell his buddy apart. Maybe it was the move, maybe it was him trying to not really commit. Maybe that's what gave it away. I don't know. Well, I've never raced on track with somebody that I'm that close with, so I can't really say for sure, but maybe something gave it away. Who knows?
So I can actually tell you exactly how they knew. In the beer league Discord, all 6 or 7 of the beer league contenders in this race, they're all in the same channel talking together. That's how they knew.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, I was looking at that earlier, and I was like, there's not a lot of drivers here, guys. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I'm sure everyone's kind of congesting their own team channels. Into pit road, come with the number 3. Now, this will be right on schedule for the LMP2s. I'm anticipating a 2-stop. The LMP2s have by far the smallest fuel tanks of the entire field as they're going to be making their way into the box.
Yeah, we'll see. He might be trying to short pit Braxton Jarrett or Tyler Augustino here. He definitely was not able to get by, was not able to hold off the assault from Braxton Jarrett there for a good while. So we'll see how this works out for him.
For reference,
but, more.
Go ahead.
More green flag pit stops are definitely coming. I think we are going to see Blalock try and short pit the competition here. The question is, when is going to be the optimal time to come? Now that they've all seen him go in, it's going to be kind of a hard call to make. You can already see another one going in. It's JCR, who is going to attempt to pit with Trent Blalock, but the problem is his pit stop is about 15 seconds behind.
And Dustin Blalock has just been given a black flag as well. Unsure why. We've got to look at that in a moment. There is Declan Durwood getting around Brooks Clayton. For reference, by the way, the GT3 cars have an estimating of around 100 to 120 liter fuel tanks. GTPs have 89. LMP2s only 75. So they are significantly underfueled in comparison to every other field, sometimes by up to 30%. That's why they're pitting so early here in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah, that's why pit strategy becomes so much more important for this class as well, which is another reason why I think it is so interesting when compared to the other three. Not that the other three aren't interesting, but LMP2 is just so much fun to look at because they're just pitting all the time, you know? Like, they're just pitting, on average, they'll be pitting, 48 times in a 24-hour race? That's a lot of green flag pit stops. That's a lot of strategy planning that you're doing, especially with the different tire compounds as well. So we'll see how it looks. Dusty Blaylock, going to try and get a look at what gave him this penalty. Not really sure. Maybe it has something to do with this car up here. Not really sure what rule he broke here. Looks like getting him for that little bit that he went over the line. Still difficult to tell.
Incident limit.
Track limits, maybe.
Incident limit. Yeah, you get a penalty at 16 incident points, and then again at 16 until you get disqualified at 30. So if he's already hit 16 in just the first half an hour or 40 minutes, that doesn't bode well for your race as a whole. So the rest of the LMP2 field now into pit road, and we will bring up the entirety of the LMP2 grid on your track map. There you see the cars in pit road. That number 3, that's Trent Blaylock trying to see if he can retake the overall race lead out of this one. His teammate, Braxton Jarrett, currently in the box. Blaylock going to be coming around through that final corner.
Yeah, he's in the final corner, making his way down the front straightaway. Nobody else is done yet. Nobody else is even near done, except maybe for Braxton Jarrett. It's going to be close coming out of pit lane. He is moving with a purpose. Trent Blaylock, is he going to be able to short pit him? I think he's just barely.
Oh, look out! Look out! Oh no! Oh no!
Hard crash! Oh no! And one of the GTs slams into him, just completely pulls onto the track.
That's the M-Class leader!
Yes, it is.
Oh,
GTM.
no.
Steven Latriel, race completely finished because of a boneheaded move by Braxton Jarrett. Just pulled across the track like he wasn't even there. What in the world was that?
Oh, boy. I mean, I get it. You're a faster class, but you still have to make way coming out of pit road when you know you're going to be slower. And we got more problems.
We got more trouble.
This is fresh out of pit road.
Oh my goodness, that's Tyler Agostino and Brooks Clayton. Brooks Clayton now trying to get it reoriented, and he is beaten, or excuse me, Declan Durba trying to get it reoriented as the rest of the field drives by him. And oh man, that is gonna be rough. And I don't even know, is Latriel still even in the race with that damage? I mean, he's just slammed right into him.
No, he had to take a toe.
Oh my goodness.
He's out. This is what happened to Durba and Clayton. Now, this is fresh out of pit road. Oh, they both lost it.
Whoa.
They both lost. I thought they made contact, but they both spun it down on the same patch of dirt.
Cold tires, man. They'll sneak up on you, and they snuck up on those two right there. Oh, my goodness. Looks like they are going to be able to try and get it here. Oh, gosh. That is just unfortunate.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the wheels don't even cut to the left. He didn't even try to correct it. He just kind of lets it happen. Yeah, there they go. A little bit late. But
holy cow.
Man, that is rough.
At least not a hard crash for the two. They were able to more or less keep it out of the fence, but I mean, that is the darndest thing, and we will absolutely get a look, by the way, at that other crash coming out of pit road. But for now, Brooks Clayton still fighting with Paul Smith and Anthony Hutchinson now.
Yeah, he definitely has not slowed down a bit. He's like, all right, I know I went off the track, but that's light work. I'm coming for you, and that is exactly what he is doing, trying to track down Paul Smith here. He's been up front, up in the top 5 all day long, and I doubt he wants that to change anytime soon. Already cutting into that gap between him and Paul Smith.
Anthony Hutchinson started this race from pit road, now up to the 6th place spot, and is continuing to try to continue his climb into the top 5. He's closing the distance quite rapidly. Brooks Clayton isn't going to be close enough, though, to have that dive into turn 1. Closing still, makes the peak. Not enough. He has to tuck it back in line.
Yeah, it just does not quite have the horses underneath him to try and make that move. That's such a difficult part. You know, when you get that run going from the slipstream and then you pull out and you just lose everything, man. And, speaking of losing everything, Brooks Clayton off in grass.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up there going to allow for Brooks Clayton to work his way through. Let's get a look back on the crash coming out of pit road here. So this is Braxton Jarrett. We're going to slow this down to just half speed here. This is Jarrett. Now, there's Stephen Luttrell. And right around here, Braxton realized what was going on. But at that point, it's too late. You're kidding. That's his teammate. That's the GTDM sister car as well.
Oh my gosh, that is so rough.
What
you can see he pulls out, and you can see he didn't look before doing that, because when he does look, he notices that he's there and he overcorrects. If he stays on that course, there's a good chance Luttrell misses him. This is a great lesson that both of these guys are going to learn in how to be predictable, right? Be predictable on track. You're going a certain way, you have to keep going a certain way. All right, even if it's a mistake, even if you did it and you know it's a boneheaded move, you have to commit. You can't swap. You can't stay in the middle of the track and do things that are unpredictable, because it leads to stuff like this. There's a good chance if he stays on course, he's fine, but because he turns back the other way, he does not commit. Stephen Luttrell, in reaction to him, with no time to try and make that reaction, his race is effectively over because of the damage. That is just so unfortunate for him.
It makes you wonder, because obviously a lot of the times you will have teammates talking it out, right? And Jarrett and Luttrell, they are both in the same voice channel up there. It makes you wonder if perhaps it was just a massive case of a team miscommunication between the two.
I don't think it was a miscommunication. I think it looks like he just didn't look. Like Braxton Jarrett just did not look before pulling out, and then he looked at the last second, saw the rapidly approaching Luttrell, who is back out on track, by the way. Shout out to him. Shout out to the crew who get that car fixed. That was really good on their part. He's still 54 seconds behind fourth here, but he's moving and he's still on the lead lap, so good for him. But yeah, I just don't think he looked, and then he looked when it was entirely too late and tried to course correct.
Jaheim Carter Richardson continuing to race this one out with Paul Smith and Anthony Hutchinson. And if I can come back one more before we close that discussion, we close the book on it. I feel like even if Luttrell avoids Jarrett, with how aggressive he hooked that car, he's spinning into the gravel trap no matter what he does. Like, no matter what, he was not going to make that corner after that. But you have to imagine that maybe at least he would have had a chance to not be so far down the order as a result.
Yeah, 100%. With that being said, Trent Blaylock's short pit was a success. He did take the lead. I just don't think he imagined it going quite like that as Christian Hill has begun his pit stop. Hopefully, he might be trying to short pit somebody. Not really sure who, but he's definitely trying to short pit someone. As we see, these cars are starting to go everywhere. Just under an hour left to go as Corey Sertoff is just trying to hang in there.
Corey Sertoff had one heck of a moment there in the King. We'll look at that in a moment. But for now, side by side between Hutchinson, Carter Richardson, and Paul Smith, still fighting this one out. And Richardson, once again, like you said, a defensive masterclass as he continues the battle for the final podium spot.
He is hanging on for dear life. He's hanging on like his life is on the line right now. Who knows? It may very well be. We'll have to see. I don't know if they're racing for life-changing amounts of money. Probably not, but you never know. Some guys are just built like that too. Like Ryan Newman, dude, he would not let you pass him under any circumstances. And JCR still hanging on to that line. He's not going to quit.
Oh, look out!
Pulls up for the block.
That's
he's just barely going to hang on. That was close.
I like to always hype up my fellow Canadians, but I got to admit, that was a little bit cheeky there from Richardson with the double block there, coming down between turns 1 and 3. Cut off Smith once, then twice again, as they continue to fight this one out, and we're going to get a brief moment of reprieve here. It's hard to believe we're still racing this aggressively and with over an hour still to go. This is onboard Corey Sertoff coming through the kink, and take a look at this as he goes into the grass.
Woo! Keep your foot in it. What a save from Corey Sertoff. Man, I didn't see that. If I'd have seen that, I would have given him his flowers then. But man, what a save from Corey Sertoff. It's so easy to just panic and then lock it down and let it spin and just try and pick up the pieces. But he keeps his foot in it, And you got to admit, that is some stellar moving right there. Wow. He manages to hang on. You can see the other cars behind him freak out, but he manages to keep his cool and keep his car on the track.
Especially given the fact that this is still an aggressive fight. Dusty Blaylock will become another driver now out of this race, as he has had this problem out of Canada corner. Look at all the gravel the drivers running over.
Oh, my God.
Over the runoff area there. Off the road. And I think not so much of a crash so much as he was just saying, yeah, I think I'm done with Road America today.
Potentially, it also could be he might see his incident points going up there from that track limits and just being like, all right, the writing's on the wall. I think I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle on that.
Yeah.
Potentially is just what happened here with this spin. He just wanted to hit that tow button and get himself out of here, which, you know, respects. Honestly, if you got places to be, you got places to be. You know what I mean? It looks like JCR. Nope. We're going to get another replay here. We're going to take a look at this fight.
This is the pass for third between Hutchinson as he got around Richardson.
Yeah, Hutchinson, who did start this race from pit road, he is already making his way up onto the podium, just drives around JCR. We have not seen a lot of cars just able to do that here today. So great move from Hutchinson right there. And then pull it back across the track as JCR to try and hang on to another spot. And he's still got it for the moment, but time will have to tell if it holds on.
Under an hour to go, 55 and a half minutes still on the clock on what has been a truly aggressive race in LMP2 and nowhere else. It has been a journey, to say the least. By the way, the GT3s still have yet to come down pit road, at least a good chunk of them. That you're looking, in fact, at around the top 6 in the GT3 field that need to come down pit road. That would include Cofford, Wolf, Stendre, Santiago, Surdoff, Catlin, and McLaughlin that all need to pit. Still no battles really in that field. It remains a tightly congested run. Mark Myers has a black flag. That would be for incident limit.
Yep, just unfortunately for him, just trying to keep it all together and just cannot quite get it done. I'm not sure if this is going to be a pass-through or if this is going to be a slowdown or what.
It's a pass-through.
Yeah, it's going to be a drive-through penalty for Mark Myers here. So, but yeah, it's one thing that I've always noticed about endurance racing. Endurance racing, a lot of times these guys are driving to not lose, you know what I mean? But these guys out here today, they are driving to win. They are driving like that is the only thing they've ever wanted, and they are moving with a purpose. Let me tell you, Paul Smith now on the rear bumper of Jaheim Carty Robinson, less than 5/10 out. We'll see if he can try and take away that fourth place spot.
And as well as that, for third place in the GT3 field, Parker Stendre might have a bit of a scrap ahead of him with Carter Santiago. Santiago right there behind this Lamborghini. Third place in the pro category. But they are racing for the overall podium in the GT3 field at large. So we'll see if Santiago's got an effort for him. Closing the gap to 1.1 seconds. This is the closest the GT3s have been in any fight for the last half hour just about.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are starting to get close. It looks like it is. Yeah, it's going to be Christopher Santiago who's trying to get past Parker Stendre. This is going to be a great achievement for him if he's able to hold him off and come into the overall GT3 podium here. And you can see in the way that he's driving, he really wants to hang on to this spot, trying to break that toe as much as possible. Ooh, he gets off the track there for just a second. But he is going to be able to hang on. That's going to allow Christopher Santiago to close the gap even further. Looks like the brake lights flashed there for just a second. Not quite even on the braking. That is going to cause Santiago to get a little bit closer. He's just reeling him in like a catfish here. And Brooks Clayton Brooks Clayton, who has Declan Durbo right on the bumper. These two have been going at it all day long. And they are going to continue to go at it here. Brooks Clayton goes wide, but he is able to hang on to the spot. Declan Durbo forced to slow up coming out of that final corner. He is not going to have the run, kicking up the gravel. It is not going to matter. He has the slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get around him here.
Turbo continuing to close in on Brooks Clayton. These were, of course, the two drivers that spun out of turn one fresh out of pit road on cold tires. so synchronized that it ended up even colliding in the same piece of runoff area. Oh, Clayton missed the apex there. That opens up the door for Declan Durba. Durba's going to try to go for it. And he's going to make that drive all the way to the outside of turn 5. Still has that in the drag race, headed down the straight underneath the cheese bridge. But not able to be part of alongside to actually attack.
Yeah, he's just going to have to file back in a line, try again. Did not quite have powerful enough of a run. We'll see if he sneaks up on him coming into one of these shorter corners here. I mean, these two have been going at it all day long. And we see he wanted to go for it right there, but just did not quite have the speed. Declan Durban wants to get around him. He knows he's the faster car, but he just does not quite, he's not able to quite to find the speed that he needs. And you can see Carson Catlin is also entering pit lane as of right now. That's second place in the GTM series. Ron Wolf has cut the gap down to the leader, Alex Cofford, for a while as he comes in for his pit stop. So we might see a switch in the GT3 overall podium for first place here, depending on how much longer Alex Cofford spends in the pits.
And Braxton Jarrett, I think, has had something huge go wrong with him because he kind of disappeared, and then he's made his way. Okay, so I see. So he had that incident, and he's trying to. Okay, never mind. He didn't have an incident. He's trying to see if he was set to come back out onto the racetrack. And I says, "Nah, you're not ready. Still got more damage to fix."
I mean, yeah, that's one way to put it, right? You know, sometimes the guy just needs a day off. You know, just give him the day off. Let him really think about it. You know what I mean? But Declan Durba still trying to hawk down Brooks Clayton here, as it looks like Ron Wolf has now entered the pits here. So Christopher Santiago looks pretty set to take the lead. Nope, he's going to pit as well. We cannot have any nice things in GT Pro as of right now.
Oh, you say that?
It's like, oh no, Corey Sertoff takes the lead. And he is going to be jumping these guys on pit strategy as Kevin McLaughlin and Parker Stanray now fighting for this position. A little bit of in the grass goes McLaughlin. And now he's going to be to the inside. Oh, man, he almost snuck the nose in there. But now they are coming up on the long straight.
Now, if I'm McLaughlin, I'm playing this very carefully because McLaughlin hasn't pit yet. This is not for on-track position. McLaughlin still has to come down to the box. I don't know why he's fighting with the Lamborghini this aggressively for a spot that's trivial in the long run. I mean, he's going to go around the outside and take the lead, and I have a feeling like Stendre kind of just let him have it because, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, he knows he's going to get the spot back. Do you reckon maybe he's just wanting to have some fun with it?
Trivial schmivial. I see car, I pass car. I don't care if they're on the same pit strategy as me or not. Let me tell you, you're not going to keep a race car driver from passing his opponents no matter the situation. And he stays out. He's still moving, wants to put some distance between him and Parker Stanray. Can't say I blame him. He is moving with a purpose, ain't he? Holy moly.
Well, Stendre
is driving that thing for all it's worth.
Stendre, remember, as well, is on fresh tires here, so he's still getting those tires back to the 10. That takes about a lap or two to do as well, which is why he's been so much slower over the last little while. Corey Barrett pitted about 14 laps ago, so Barrett anticipated to need another pit stop run here as well. 1 hour deep into this race. We are over halfway home. It does not feel, Jacob, like an hour has already passed us by. It feels like it's been maybe half that.
Yeah, for sure. This race has had a lot going on. Time flies when you're having fun. And we are all, I mean, I think we're all having a good time here, except for maybe, you know, Luttrell and the guys who are currently no longer racing. But Alex Cofford is going to be set to take the lead here as Corey Sertoff begins his pit stop. And it looks like he is just going to, yeah, that was a replay. Again, that's twice I've done that now. Alex Cofford did take a little bit of a spin with Corey Sertoff. He might have enough time. No, he does not have enough time to get back out there. I was wondering just how much save that was like. Yeah, you know, I was thinking that could be interesting. But as I said before, we just can't have anything nice in GT Pro. As Alex Cofford drives right by him. Corey Sertoff's short pit does not work. Yeah.
McLaughlin, black flag for the incident limit.
Ooh. Uh-oh, I think it might have had something to do with that LMP2 that they all just got by. We'll see. But, yeah, Kevin McLaughlin is going to be forced to do a drive-through penalty here. And that definitely changes things. Parker Standray.
Just self-inflicted.
Just slowing?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Dang. Looks like we're going to try and take a look here. Oh, nope, he is coming down pit road here in that 777. Loses the lead of the GT-AM race to Parker Standray once again. And Corey Barrett close behind on that odd pit strategy that we saw earlier. He might be trying to stretch this thing out to go the distance.
Is he making a pit stop? Oh, I don't know if you can
I mean,
get
if you're
away
passing
with that.
through, I mean, if there's nothing in the rules against it, I don't see why not. I mean, if you're going down pit road, you might as well take tires. It's not like the crew's not ready. Those guys are always ready.
Well, I mean, you say that. iRacing does have it in the rules. If you have a drive-through, you can't do it when you take service. So he's going to have to come down again from that.
Oh, do you think maybe he didn't know?
I mean, there's no way he didn't. He's from Full Send Endurance to GT. That's a team that knows their stuff. I have a feeling it was more a case of, well, I mean, I needed the pit anyway. I may as well make the pit stop now, come around, do a drive-through, then you're good to go.
Yeah, true. There is still a lot of time left on this clock. That is definitely something that could be viable. He is going to come back out on track, and it looks like JCR as well is going to get a penalty. Not really sure for what. Probably incident limit as well. We're waiting to hear on that as, yeah, it is going to be the incident limit. Unfortunate for him, man. He has been fighting tooth and nail to try and hang on to his spots, but it is all going to come crumbling down here as Declan Durba is going to try and get around. Looks like he's not going to be able to, but I mean, again, if you're Declan Durba, you know the guy in front of you who's got a penalty, there's no point really. But it's like I was saying earlier, you know, if I see a car, I'm going to try and pass a car, and that is probably what's going through Declan Durba's head right now.
Well, and that said, I'm not sure Declan Durba does know that JCR has a black flag. And while the LMP2 battles may all be dipping off for a little while, Serdov and Santiago, half a second between them. And now racing for third place in the GTD Pro field.
We'll see what happens. They still got that LMP2 between them. Looks like that. Is that Hutchinson? I think that's Hutchinson. Yeah, it is. Yeah. He is going to be making his way around. Paul Smith is coming up on him as well. So they got to keep their minds on that. The lap traffic is coming through, but it looks like Santiago, he's closed the gap down by about 2/10 here. So he's going to try and go for something, maybe going into the kink.
It's a realistic chance. He's going to try for it as Serdov and Santiago keep racing it out 0.3 of a second between them. With the quarter second quickly being run down as Santiago definitely looking like he's the quicker car between the two. He had those problems. Going and wide is Serdov.
That is going to give Santiago the opportunity that he needs now alongside coming into turn 6. And he is, oh man, they almost make contact and they come around. And Serdov is just going to be able to hang on, and he's going to be able to make way for the LMP2 car. Paul Smith coming around. They are still neck and neck right here as Corey Serdov is going to just barely try and hang on. It's Christopher Santiago to take a spot.
Couldn't clear him, though, because the LMP2 is still in the way. Now Serdov takes full advantage of that. He's going to be to the inside, into the carousel. All of this as they're now fighting their way to the king. Contact there!
Oh!
25 over to the right side. He's able to hold it. Tucks it back in line. They're still single file. Barely skipped a beat there as they almost sent each other into the wall.
Oh, man, you know Corey's definitely not going to be happy about that. He is looking to get back at him, and quickly. That was a crazy move there from Christopher Santiago. Not sure if he did that on purpose or not, but he doored the freaking crap out of him as they were coming around that straightaway right there. Whoo, let me tell you, that was a good fight that we just saw, but something tells me it's not quite over yet.
There's JCR dropping a spot. And remember, JCR still has that penalty limit over him. He's got to come to pit road now or he gets disqualified. And that is why I see him make that really aggressive cut over to the right-hand side. Now, while we have the battle for fourth, you also have the battle for fifth. And it'll be two working their way by these guys. There's Clinton and Durba. Knows the tail with just 1/10 of a second between them as they make their way back to turn 1.
Woo, I thought they were about to pull out at the same time, go 4 wide into turn 1. That would have been something to see, but it looks like they're both going to be able to get around those GT cars. Declan Durba still trying to crack into the top 5. He's been running behind folks all day long. You can imagine he's got quite tired of it, and they both pull out. They're both going to make moves. Declan Durba gets by Brooks Clayton, and he is going to crack into the top 5 here. And it looks like Corey Sertoff is going to take that spot back from Christopher Santiago. Absolute chaos here at Road America tonight.
I thought for a moment that Clayton may have, or Durba may have made the move too early, because Clayton, had he gotten enough draft, could have potentially gotten back around with the slipstream with how aggressively he took back in line. You could tell that's what he was going for, but he just couldn't get the run that he was looking for. 41.
Looks like Sertoff clipped the grass there.
41 minutes, 40 seconds to go. How are we still this far into this race already? We're still this close.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely expecting things to calm down at some point, but it seems that the PML drivers have other plans. Looks like these guys are fighting and clawing like every position is worth $1,000. And looks like Santiago is going to taper off of Corey Sertoff here, who has definitely established that he wants that position. He's still clipping the grass right there. That is going to give him a little bit more of a boost here. It's going to come down to how he nails this next corner. And he gets in there again. He gets into the dirt again and again off the track. And that is just going to keep allowing Santiago to not only keep pace, but even gain a little bit of time as they come into the final corner.
You know,
those rapid movements.
Right about now, I was thinking if we would have taken a couple of field and noise segments at this point, go on board a few drivers. Haven't had the chance to, because where one battle ends, another one picks up just as quickly. I mean, where was these GT3 fights when we had the Elevator 2s going at it, 4 at a time for third?
Whoa!
Oh, look out! Oh, my goodness!
Christopher Santiago, front row seats, and the spoiler goes with it. Front and rear damage. He is going to be able to get that thing back on the track. He saw Sertoff clip the grass, and he knew he had to gain a lot of time right there. It looks like he is going to be able to get it moving, but man, that Porsche has seen better days.
Oh, that was a brutal hit into the wall as he just loses the tail end, and at that point, that car ain't stopping hard into the wall with such force that it ricochets across the racetrack and then into the wall again on the left-hand side of the track and takes out the rear wing.
Man, that is rough. I mean, it's just something that results in hard racing. You can only go so fast around those corners before you start to lose control, and it can be difficult to remember that balance in the moment, especially when you see the other guy make a mistake. So, tough break for Christopher Santiago, and he's going to have a penalty as well. So, just insult on top of injury, and the time is not getting any longer as he goes off the track again.
He is struggling to get the car back to pit road. I'd imagine, well, aero damage, I think, is the obvious one, but I would imagine suspension damage in that as well. Potential outright wheel damage, maybe engine damage. The good news for him is the Porsche is, of course, a mid to rear engine car, so the blow to the actual motor wouldn't be nearly as big as if it were a front engine car, much like the McLaren.
Yeah, we'll just have to see when he goes down pit road how long he's there to try and kind of estimate what kind of damage he's working with there. And it looks like he is going to get he's going to let JCR by here, who has finished his drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, in LMP2, Brooks Clayton is now up to a second behind Declan Durba, and that gap is growing rapidly.
Durba needed to punch clear the slipstream. I think Durba's got a bit of a higher downforce setup than Clayton has, which is why he's been able to pull away effectively in the corners. Clayton, while he has the horsepower to match, just doesn't have the cornering speed to catch up with him. He's been relying on that slipstream to try and keep him close.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that as well when Declan Durba tries to pass people. It just runs out of steam so quickly, and when you have a ton of downforce like that, pulling out of the slipstream and having all of that extra force on the car is going to cause it to move slower. So potentially he's just working with a different wing angle and a different splitter angle than everybody else. But we'll just have to see. Definitely going to chuck that thing in a wind tunnel after this race is over, try and figure out where the problem was at. But for the most part, he's still having a pretty decent day. Top 5 here. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he's been doing an absolutely stellar job today. We can't take that away from him. I mean, yeah, down one spot, but I mean, this is coming after he had a spin coming out of pit road. He's run off the track a few times. He's been involved in battles. He's been pushed out, bullied. I mean, despite all that, Durba still running in the top 5 in what has been so far our most competitive class of the night.
Yeah, 100%. Very tumultuous day for a lot of the LMP2s in the field. Looks like Anthony Hutchinson is going to make his second pit stop of the day here. He is on a different pit cycle than everybody else, who's going to try and short pit the competition once again. And this might give Dusty Blaylock a chance to potentially get back on the lead lap here.
Yeah, Hutchinson will make his trip into the box. And with that, anticipating the rest of the LMP2s, probably not too far behind here, are they? So Agostino, Smith, Durba, and Clayton going to be trying to go at it. Durba got a little bit held up by McLaren there. And wouldn't you know it, is it any surprise that happens to be a fellow Beerly contender with Clayton that just held him up? I think that was Ron. That was Ron Wolf. Wolf and Clayton know each other, so I don't think it's any coincidence that Wolf wasn't so eager to get out of Durba's way. We see all of these team games being played time and time again. Of course, we're going to get set to see it as well for the VSCA Sports Car Championship. That will be coming up tomorrow afternoon. And in fact, why not? Let's take a look at what else is coming up here on Green Flag 2. We've already talked about the VSCA Sports Car Championship ahead of the Homestead Miami Speedway tomorrow. On Sunday, the Motor City Racing IMSA Championship will close out an 8-week season at the Fuji International Speedway. High Tide is back for race 2. They will be at the Glen. From there, Aspire Racing will be taking to Belgium. They'll be racing at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Mid-Atlantic Racing is action back for more at Michigan. The NASCAR Caswell Glass Company Series will be out at the Irwindale Speedway. Coming off of a month-long break, they will be in California as well on Thursday. And then from Virginia, another new league being welcomed into the Green Flag TV fold as we'll bring on board the Silver Fox Racing Lane Model Championship from the Richmond Raceway. And looking forward to getting our first dedicated short track league sorted here on Green Flag TV as well. Jacob, lots to be excited about in the next couple weeks here.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely excited to see Silver Fox. I'm going to be working that night, so I'm going to need something going on in the background for sure. There's nothing quite like watching them late models tear up that dirt, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait to see that, as well as the Watkins Glen race. That is always a fun track. So the NASCAR Cup Series is this weekend as well. So definitely going to see a lot of action on that track as we get back to Anthony Hutchinson, who comes out 7th after his pit stop. And, just loses it. Cold tires, they sneak up on everybody, and they snuck up on him.
It's funny that it's only really been an LMP2 problem, though, right? I mean, Christian Hill didn't have that problem, and he's running the GTP. You'd think it'd be extra pronounced, because for them, it can take sometimes 5-10 minutes to get those tires up to temp.
I mean, fair, but GTAM, that has definitely been a problem as well. We've seen at least 4 or 5 self-spins due to cold tires in this race alone. So definitely. And for those of you that were curious, Christian Hill still leading the prototype race here. So shout out to him.
Credit to Christian Hill, by the way. He could have come out here, only turned one lap, then parked the race and called it a day, right? He would have scored the winning points, but despite only being one car, he's still here, still racing. He's still making sure that he runs the full race so he can win this race on merit as well. And you know what I feel like this does? I feel like this is almost more fair to the rest of the field, if that makes sense, because they're getting the more authentic experience having all of the classes on the grid, as opposed to, well, if there just wasn't one guy and you may as well just take it a provisional.
I mean, yeah, at that point, you might as well just knock him down to LMP2, right? But he's here, and yeah, I mean, easy points are easy points, don't get me wrong, and he's definitely not doing anything crazy We'd definitely seen it by now if he was. He's just kind of cruising around, trying to take his points because these points might be what the championship comes down to, especially with there only being 3 like prototype drivers in the whole series. I think that this race is going to have a lot more importance later down the line.
2 more LMP2 cars into pit road. Brooks Clayton, Paul Smith, and how about that? Christopher Santiago coming back into pit road. What do you make of this one here? I didn't think these guys had to take another pit stop run tonight for the GT3s.
Maybe he's trying to get on fresher tires, try and run down the rest of the field so that it's just not a problem late. I don't know. It's definitely a bit of a head scratcher for me too. But he's coming down regardless. I think it's because he already had to come down anyway for that penalty. But why wait so long? You just go around on the next lap. I don't know. Seems a little fishy to me. And, oh, man.
Getting some flashbacks here. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that scared me. I won't lie.
Well, they're able to get through this time around, thankfully at least. So no controversy this time through. But now Clayton having to try to chase down Paul Smith. And Smith only 1 second now behind Anthony Hutchinson. And there's another lap car in the mix of this, too. That's actually the overall class of Trent Blalock that still has to come down to pit road along with Augustino and Durba.
Yeah, but not being on the lead lap here, if a yellow flag does come out, it's going to be a big problem for them. So they're going to try and fight to stay on that lead lap as much as they can. But it seems like they're just going to let it by for the time being as they try and get those tires warmed up. Paul Smith puts a little bit of space between him and Brooks Clayton. Meanwhile, in GT Amp, we're going to see Stephen Luttrell and Kevin McLaughlin fighting here for this spot.
Luttrell and McLaughlin, fourth place, up for grabs in GTD-AM. Haven't talked about the AM class in the GTDs for quite some time. There just hasn't been too much going on down here for them to be noted. Luttrell, of course, the former leader in this class. Then, of course, he got wiped out by his own teammate, Braxton Jarrett, as a result of I think the polite word would be questionable rejoining of the racetrack following the pit stop cycle. I'm sure Luttrell would have other words for it that probably are not entirely safe for broadcast, but I think we can go with questionable.
I think that is an appropriate word for our level of professionalism. So, with that being said,
Oh,
that's not good.
Have we?
They finished. Oh,
and we're
off
back.
The track goes Paul Smith. He goes into the ether, and when he comes back out, he spat out backwards.
It wasn't just him.
Good.
Everyone went into the ether. I think the server just had a blip, and it caused Smith to have an off.
You think so? Maybe. We'll have to try and see if we can get a replay of it, see when exactly it was that he came back to the material plane.
I mean, we can try. I don't think we're gonna get one though.
Dude, I think there's a wizard in the woods, man. He's the one who's been casting. He's casting like Dimension Door and like all these weird spells. I don't know, because I think this is another one right here. Yeah, you can see he just gets spat back out backwards.
So does that?
What the heck?
Does that count as it hurt itself with its own confusion on that one?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of wizard we're dealing with here. I'm not really sure.
Oh.
It depends on where he got teleported to as well. And
Dustin Blalock disqualified.
Yep.
Instant limit.
Oh, no.
Hit the 30th.
Dang. That's not good. Shame. Honestly, a shame. I feel bad for the guy. It sucks to put an hour into a race and then just get nothing out of it because of stuff that is in your control, but maybe he had damage, maybe he just wasn't working with the best car, maybe stuff kept going wrong. You got no idea what kind of battles people are fighting out on track, so, shame for him, but he'll just have to hope to have a better week next week.
Here we go. Kevin McLaughlin looking for the inside of Corey Barrett. Barrett fresh out of pit road. 3 laps to go. Down the inside. It's deep for McLaughlin, but he's going to make it stick down the inside of turn 1.
Yep, he's got the place. We'll see if he can hang on to it here, Corey Barrett. Remember, he is making that big stretch, trying to go all the way on fuel here. We'll have to see how it works out for him.
I can already tell you it didn't. He pitted 3 laps to go for fuel.
Oh, never mind then. Whoops. My mistake. That must have been when I was gone.
Don't worry. I missed it too until just now. So
yeah. Christian Hill making his way back up to the field here, and Barrett off the track here. That is not good.
Could you imagine if Christian Hill crashes out of this race and it's like, how do you manage to DNF when you're the only car in your class?
Dude, that would be insane.
Do you still get the points for winning?
I don't think anybody would ever let him. I mean, probably. I don't know. Depends on if you get disqualified or not. Like, if it's an egregious enough incident, they might just DQ you on the spot, depending on the rules of the league.
I mean,
so if he gets DQ'd, he doesn't get any points. But other than that, I think they'd have to give him the winning points.
Yeah. It's one of those weird incidents, other weird incidents at the points that come to mind. I think the first one that comes to mind was that really big crash, and I think in the early 2000s in Interlagos in the FI Formula One World Championship. I don't know if you remember this one. It was a long time ago, though. Yeah, one car spun off into the way on the outside, entering the final pit straight. Fernando Alonso came along, ran over a piece of suspension, smoked the tires as a result. They had to red flag the race. It did not get restarted, and because they reverted to the laps before, Fernando Alonso was given third place, except he couldn't take it because I believe he had been hospitalized by that point, so he was absent from the podium.
Yeah.
But, again, one of those strange types of points oddities, the way rules kind of shake out. There's so many cases like that all throughout racing history that you could go with.
Oh, 100%. I'm thinking of that one GT race where they all stacked up in that one corner. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where the guy, they like literally every single person failed to finish the race because they just wiped out the entire field.
Was it Macau?
In literally one corner. I think so. I can't quite remember. It was so long ago.
Was
that
it
I saw
a street
that clip,
circuit?
But, yeah, it was definitely a street circuit with how narrow it was for sure.
It was Macau.
I'm
I think I know the one you're
mind
talking about.
Right here. Like, I saw this clip when I was like 8 years old, man. You're going to have to give me a break, all right?
Oh, maybe
yeah.
not, because Macau was less than a decade ago when that happened, so maybe not.
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering my age. I'm 21, so there's a possibility. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Yeah, with all that being said, I think that this is going to become a neat little piece of trivia whenever Precision Motorsports League becomes the biggest sim racing league on the planet. So, humble origins, and definitely one of those things that people are going to be talking about for a while.
Well, race in action going to continue on this afternoon. Now watch the battle between Stephen Luttrell and Corey Barrett. 4 laps separating, check that, make that 13 laps separating these two on their strategies. Luttrell came out of pit road 17 laps ago after spending almost 4 minutes in the box for extensive damage repairs. Corey Barrett out of the box 4 laps ago after a fuel-only stop.
You think Luttrell tries to make it last? You think he's going to try and stretch out this fuel run?
I mean, I could see it working for him.
Because he pitted roughly, what, you'd say like about 20 minutes ago-ish, maybe
give
more.
Or take.
Yeah, so maybe he does try and stretch this out. That would be a crazy win if he managed to win the AM race on just fuel. That'd be nuts.
No kidding.
Looks like he's still trying to fight with Kevin McLaughlin, or excuse me, with Corey Barrett here. So we'll see how that ends up for him. But elsewhere, not really a whole lot going on. Declan Durbin now coming in for his pit stop. That's going to give Anthony Hutchinson a good chance to pass him here. Maybe even Brooks Clayton and Paul Smith as well, depending on how that goes. Looks like he just got into his pit stall a moment ago.
So Durba, there he is in the box. Anthony Hutchinson still out on the racetrack and still waiting on Tyler Augustino to make his final stop of the day as well. This will now be with under 25 laps to go. As Hutchinson, make that Durba back onto the racer right in front of Anthony Hutchinson. It's going to be closer to turn 1. Durba was able to retain third, but on cold tires, Hutchinson could get him here coming down to the turn 5.
Here we go. He's going to try and go around the outside. Maybe. No, he's going to elect to stay where he's at, and it pulls to the inside, and he drives right through. Look at that. Declan Durba never stood a chance. Anthony Hutchinson takes that third spot, and now he's going to be looking to chase down Trent Blaylock, because with Tyler Augustino being forced to make that last pit stop, it's going to be between those two. He's only got 28 seconds between himself and Trent Blaylock, so Tyler Augustino is for sure going to lose the lead here, maybe more.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy for him, as we are going to look to work this one out more and more. Still have a long way to go, though, in racing action here this afternoon. As Durba continues to apply pressure to Hutchinson, but quickly losing that gap on cold tires. Gap already up to 1.7.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough one, as Tyler Augustino does get leapfrog in the pits here. Trent Blaylock now your new leader of the LMP2 series.
So Blaylock to the lead, no surprises there. Now, the question is, where does Augustino come out? He will exit with a significant gap between himself and Anthony Hutchinson. So, Augustino going to be in a spot in no man's land here as we get set to close this one out. It's continuing to be a great run that the field is having on the afternoon. And all of this with plenty of racing still yet to be had, and really excited to see what is going to be on the cards from here to the end. Let's take a ride on board with Christian Hill for a little while. We'll let you feel the noise on Green Flag TV. You're watching the season opener of the Precision Motorsports League from Road America. Still working our way through the final minutes of this race. 15 minutes to go. Kevin McLaughlin has been able to get around Carson Catlin for the number 2 spot in GTDM while we were riding on board with Christian Hill for a few laps. This is what happened to facilitate this pass. And the Hill Satin, Aston Martin, falling to the full send endurance GT Porsche, cruising into turn number 5, and well, just like that, done deal for the 777. Catlin couldn't fight it.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of drove right around him. Not really a whole lot to say there. The 666 did clip the grass a little bit. But other than that, not really much happened in that 4 minutes that we were gone. Looks like we are just looking to wind this one down and let Christian Hill run away with his free win.
Let's once again kind of jump back and look at what we got coming up here. This is, of course, what's going to be on offer for the holy cow, the Precision Motorsports League. There we go. This is the upcoming schedule. Road America, Long Beach, Sebring, Portimao, Watkins Glen, and Daytona. That will be the 6 races, 2 weeks spaced out between each event. I think one of the flagship races here, Jacob, going to be the lone race where we jump across the pond to go racing in Portugal at Algarve. That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That is going to be a lot of fun. Honestly, this is one of the most base schedules I think I've ever seen. All of these tracks are really good. I'm loving this. This is looking great.
I think the most attrition-filled race, I mean, it's going to be Long Beach. Let's be honest. It's always Long Beach. It's Long Beach.
True.
That's going to be the race that's going to be the hardest to pass at. You could argue it's actually the opposite of what we had here today, right? Car-to-car battles are going to be slim to none. You're going to be looking more at just racing the track itself rather than everybody around you.
Yeah, 100%. They call it Long Beach because you're gonna have a long day when you go there, for sure. That is gonna be a slugfest. I'm very excited to see how the teams handle that and how much more emphasis they put on qualifying, because going forward, we will now actually be covering the qualifying for Precision Motorsport League as well. So keep tuned for that too.
Not too much going on aboard the iRacing circuit right now. 3.4 seconds between Durba and Hutchinson. That is, at the moment, the closest battle for position you have anywhere throughout the field. So it's looking like it's going to be a relatively quiet few minutes here for the season opener of the Precision Motorsports League.
Yeah, it's definitely been the whole first half. I mean, the first 3 quarters of this race was filled with absolute chaos, but it seems things have finally slowed down here, as endurance races tend to do. You know, these guys were driving like the freaking wheels were falling off of their cars, but it seems for the most part everybody's got a few seconds between them and the next closest car. Now it's all about not making any mistakes and just hanging in there. Yeah, and not really much else to say about it. Alex Cofford has been up front in that GT Pro Series all day long. Parker Standrett's been in the lead for about 30 minutes now. And Trent Blaylock, ever since those pit stops, has come out and he is on fire. Over 30 seconds ahead of Tyler Agostino.
Yeah, Trent Blaylock has been on an absolute tear of it here this afternoon, as he is going to be looking to continue on with a stellar drive for the driver of the number 3. And don't forget as well, Alex Cofford, as we'll obviously take a look at some of our GTD class leaders as well, as Hill coming down for his final stop, by the way. But Alex Cofford, a 27-time winner in the beer league on Wednesday nights, looking set to add yet another league to his extensive resume of where he's managed to take off wins. Racing under the Huge Ass colors here this afternoon, and so far has been in complete control of this race from lap number 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. Just kind of whipping the competition from start to finish. That is the Alex Cofford way. You've seen him do it time and time again in many different places, many different cars, but one thing always remains consistent. Alex Cofford will pass you, and he will do so on his way to winning the race.
And then, of course, Parker Standre leading the way in GTDM. And while, yes, it's over a minute, almost a minute back to Kevin McLaughlin, it really does not tell you the full story, does it, with how the race lead had panned out here? Because it was at one point Stephen Luttrell who had been in complete control of the
Sure
GTO
was.
category. And then it was his own teammate, Braxton Jarrett, who at the time was leading the LMP2 category, that wiped him out coming out of pit road.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that is just, man, racing's racing. You know, racing is one of the most chaotic sports on the planet, and it's because of stuff like that. And sometimes you just don't have your luck cut out for you, and that is what Steven Luttrell has had to come to terms with in this race. Still in the top five. Make no mistake. Very, very good on him for staying in this race and managing to get the points that he needs to get going forward, because again, we got a long season in front of us, right? There's a lot of races. We're going to need every point that we can get on our way to finishing things out. So good on him for keeping going despite that just coming out of nowhere and not really being his fault.
Kevin McLaughlin and has actually gone around. That is why we now see him over a minute all of a sudden behind Parker Stendre. This is what happened to him. Lit the rears up to the final corner. That's all she wrote.
Yep, I think it's safe to say Parker Stendre is going to remain the leader all the way to the end here, barring anything crazy happening. With 9 minutes left to go, we see some guys over here kind of locked in, but not really a whole lot to report on.
Don't forget to check out the VSCA Sports Car Championship. It'll be the Miami Sports Car Grand Prix. Ron Mons and I will be heading down to Florida. We'll be racing at the Homestead Miami Speedway's infield road course for 2 hours and 40 minutes of racing action on one of Green Flag TV's premier series. It has been a unreal season that VSCA has had so far, and it is looking like it is going to be yet another big journey. This going to be... Oh, my goodness!
Oh, my God! In pieces is Jaheim Carty Richardson. And I don't even know what just happened. It looks like Steven Luttrell just pile drove into him.
Ain't no way.
And he's got a penalty. Oh, my God.
Ain't no way Luttrell just got taken out by a second LMP2 doing something here.
Oh, my God. That was unbelievable. He came apart. He came apart like a 40K model. What in the world was that? You see him go down into this corner. He loses it. And he just, oh, no.
Back end kicks out.
Yep. He just gets back onto the pavement, hits the tires, and gosh, and he locks it down, man. And Luttrell nowhere to go. And that thing, God, man, JCR, who's had such a good day up until this point, man, that is so rough for him.
Reports coming in, by the way, for the number 69 entry. His wheel had a failure in it, which is what partially appears to have led to this. I mean,
man,
that is brutal.
Gosh, and Luttrell just getting the worst of it as well. I mean, not the worst of it. Make no mistake, the 69 car is definitely worse off. But, man, that 444 just cannot seem to catch a break here today. That is, man, that's really unfortunate, especially with so little time remaining. Here. Oh, my God, dude. Looking like something out of Speed Racer. Holy moly.
Yeah, minus the Carfu and more... lacking any of the finesse, and I think just going for the brute force tactic on that one.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works, but holy moly, yeah, that wheel definitely has seen better days. I'm not really sure what the failure was. Maybe it was suspension, maybe it was steering column, not really sure, but he could not get it there, and Luttrell tried to dodge it last second, probably lost steering at this point, and yeah, that's unfortunate for him.
Ouch. Have you seen the Speed Racer films, or are you more of the cartoon fan?
I have actually seen all of them. I've seen the original 1960s anime. I saw the one that came out in the 2010s, the Cartoon Network show, and then I saw the movie when it came out in 2008. It's been one of my favorite movies since. I love that movie. That movie is so much fun.
Finally, someone with some taste in films. That Speed Racer.
I know, everybody talks so much crap on it, and then whenever I actually show it to people, they're like, dang, that movie is genuinely fun. And I'm like, I know, right? There's so much color, and it's so anime. I love it.
It really is. If you were going to make an anime into live action, that is how you would do it. I mean, plain and simple. I'm telling you, it's an underrated gem that everyone sleeps on, and most of the people I say that hate it haven't ever seen it.
That's what I'm saying, man.
To be fair, though, I mean, you look at the old, 60s cartoon, right, and the film, you would not believe they're from the same franchise. It looks like it looks like the cartoon is a parody of it.
Honestly, yeah, the cartoon definitely has not aged well for
No, it
sure.
has not.
In really any
So has
any
not.
aspects. It just hasn't. It's really funny though. For what it's worth, it is just genuinely hilarious.
The rapid fire
but,
poor dub will never cease to amaze me, nor will the fact that whenever a racer quote unquote screams, it sounds like someone's just been stabbed in the recording booth.
Dude, literally, it's so bad. But my favorite, I think that honestly, Speed Racer as a movie, if you actually pay attention to the plot and the moving parts in lore, because let me tell you, I've done some deep dive in the lore of the Speed Racer universe. All right, there's so much lore. All right, but with that being said, that movie actually says a lot about modern motorsports as a whole, because even back in 2008, they were making the point like you can't get anywhere in this sport without paying for it, right? And that's kind of true for modern motorsports, right? Oh no!
Oh, that's
Christian Hill!
Oh,
That's the
don't.
third time he's done that. Don't do it. Oh,
We
my
said
God.
what would happen if your overall leader DNF's out of this race. We almost had it right there.
Oh my God, that would have been awful. With less than 5 minutes to go, he does manage to get it together, and he is just out here to spin the tires at this point. But man, that is interesting. But back to what I was saying, man. Speed Racer, it does say a lot about modern motorsports when it really doesn't mean to. You know what I mean? And with the advent of sports gambling, how much more prominent things like race fixing and match fixing are, not just in esports, but in real sports. You know, those things are definitely on the table and have so much more spotlight on them with how much money's being thrown around. So I think that movie was definitely ahead of its time.
I think I forget who said it, but there was I think it was Pointless Hub that kind of like, he made a video on it, and he kind of I think put it well. It's a movie that Hollywood never was or has been ready for. It's kind of timeless in a sense. Again, it never really fit in to any niche before or since then. It's kind of it's a genre all of its own.
It's like describing 40K to people, because normally when you're describing something to someone, you take something they understand and add a few adjectives. It's like, you know, it's Rainbow Six, but you all have the same guns. You know, it's this, but it's that. But with Speed Racer, you can't do that. There's no movie you can compare that to. It's not like Days of Thunder. It's not like F1. It's not like Rush. It's not like any other racing movie or movie in general that's ever come out. It is Speed Racer, and you will watch it and you will love it. Let me tell you. But that's just my opinion.
I can't believe we're going on a rant that long about the Speed Racer. Where did they even come from anyway? But...
I mean, in our defense, like there's not really much happening right now. Paul Smith is about 1.3 seconds back from Brooks Clayton, and Corey Barrett is about 4.5 seconds back from Carson Catlin. Those are your closest, like, quote-unquote battles. JCR, for what it's worth, is still out here. He's still turning laps. He's 4 laps down, but he is still turning laps. So shout out to him. Looks like Luttrell is also out back on track after that incident as well. He's only 1 lap down, but he's still behind somebody who's 2 laps down. So I'm not really sure what that's about.
Brooks Clayton and Paul Smith might have one more fight in us here before we get this race to a close. They are right now separated by only 1 second entering the final lap of this race. I should say approaching the final lap of this race.
Ooh. Goes a bit wide there. That is going to cut into his time significantly. Already down by a 1/10. And that time is just going to keep getting smaller. God, look at the gravel. Oh my God.
It's so extensive.
It looks like it looks
tells
like a field of dandelions.
It tells a story. you can see exactly which you can see which corners everybody's been struggling with all day long. Christian Hill now working the final lap of the race here in the Precision Motorsports League's season opener on what has been an absolutely insane ride throughout the course of the day. And it is looking set like we're going to be in it to win it for Christian Hill. He's going to have a pretty big walk-off here. One fight to go, though, and it's between Clayton and Smith. Now only 3/10 between them as they enter the final corner.
Yep, they're going to be coming down this front stretch. This is going to be the white flag here. They both know it. They both got to leave it all on the racetrack here. Paul Smith gaining ever so slightly. Didn't get a great exit out of that corner, but the slipstream is going to help him. He is going to back off just a bit. He wants to put that pressure on Clayton. We'll see how it all shakes out as the white flag will wave in 18 seconds.
Still underway for Smith and Clayton. Who's going to go for the move and where? Will Clayton look to pull a fast one on defense? Will Smith be able to pull a fast one on offense as racing action drawing to a close? There's a defensive block. Paul Smith going to have to do this one the long way. He's going to be making that pass on the right-hand side of the racetrack, but he stalls out as soon as he pulls out of line. Oh, a course wrench to the inside and a huge dive down to the bottom, locks up and causes Clayton to check it up as well. But some good sportsmanship as Smith gives it back. All the while, Christian Hill coming around through the final corner. Could you call it a walk-off or what? Lone car in the GTP field and overall winner on the day. Lone car to take the win here in GTP.
Yep, and you can see he's happy about it, man. He had to work really hard for that win, so shout out to him. We've still got the LMP2 field that's going to go ahead and be crossing the line any second now. But, man, that's the third time we've seen that today. Paul Smith tried to lay it all out there on the line, and he just locked up, went off the track to take the position, gave it back, and that is what is going to ultimately cost him here. So, unfortunately, could not break into that top five. But as we watch, we watch Parker Standray bringing his way back around the track. I mean, it's got to feel good, right? It's got to feel good.
I'm sure he didn't imagine taking the lead in the way he did, but hey, like you said, a win's a win. He's going to come out of the final corner here and take that spot away. So good job for him as he closed this one off. To the line, Smith unable to run Clayton back down, so it's going to be Brooks Clayton holding on against Paul Smith, and that just leaves two more classes to go.
Yep, we're just waiting on Alex Cofford here to cross the line, racing in the huge-ass colors, and, not really much else coming out of the final corner. He does not make any kind of catastrophic failure, and Alex Cofford is all but set to win your GT Pro race here at the PML season opener.
And then at the end of the day, Trent Blalock will manage to come home, and he will clinch the LMP2 win. It is unfortunately not a Helix 9 Motorsports 1-2 like they were hoping with Braxton Jarrett, but a win regardless for the field, and what a ride that Blalock had. And while, a lot of separation of the LMP2 field at the end, I don't think it really does it justice as to how aggressive that dogfighting was all throughout.
Yeah, 100%. That was an absolute barn burner of a race. Generational season opener, honestly. That was something very, very special to see. A lot of big passes, a lot of big crashes. That is, those races, that's why we go racing, man, is for just absolute chaos like that. Guys fighting tooth and nail for every spot. That is the heart of racing, let me tell you.
Well, we are going to have ourselves with quite the drive here on the afternoon as we are going to look set to close this one out. We'll start things off with the overall winner. It's, Christian Hill. Who's surprised at this one? As he's going to take home the win in GTP. And, I think you got the LMP2s there then, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, the LMP2s, we had Trent Blalock bringing up the front here, and everybody at least a lap down here. Tyler Agostino bringing up second, Anthony Hutchinson in third, Declan Durba in fourth, and Brooks Clayton in fifth. Paul Smith, unable to make the pass for fifth, will come in sixth, and Jaheim Carty Richardson, after a horrible crash with under 5 minutes to go, will finish seventh. Dusty Blalock, after being disqualified for the incident limit, will finish eighth, and Braxton Jarrett, after retiring from the race very early with a massive crash exiting pit road, will finish ninth.
And moving on down through the field, it's going to be Alex Cofford taking the win in GTD Pro. Ron Wolf, number 2. Corey Surdoff from third. From there, it's Christopher Santiago closing this race out 18 laps down after DNFing. He will be joined by Allison Tucker at the tail of the field.
Bringing up our GTM results, Parker Stanray will win this race in that 79 car, and he'll be followed by Kevin McLaughlin and Carson Catlin, who will round off our podium in third place, respectively. Now, Corey Barrett will finish in fourth. Mark Myers, who lost his wing at the beginning of the race, will finish 3 laps down in fifth.
And of course, with Luttrell and Ulmer closing out this race, that is... Like you said, that's going to be it then for the field. Tell you what a race, like you said here, Jacob.
Yeah, 100%. That was very entertaining. I won't lie. That is very, very good for PML. All their drivers left it all out on the track today. You can tell they all wanted to win very badly. And yeah, it's good that we haven't lost sight of why we go racing. That is, at the end of the day, 2 wins. So shout out to those guys. What a great product they put out on the track today.
All right, well, we're going to get set to give our drivers a chit-chat here post-race in just a moment. For the time being, we are going to take ourselves a quick step back. We return. It's the post-race show on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where we are just coming off of quite a wild race that we had here on the afternoon. While it was wild for some, one driver that was able to take a pretty easy walk-off here was Christian Hill, as he comes home numbers 1, 2, and 3 here at the end of the day. Christian, obviously, you're the lone driver to race in GTP today, but you still went all the way to the checkered flag. How are you feeling? Mr. Hill, do we got you?
He's speechless.
Can you hear
There
me?
we go. Yep, we got you now.
There we go.
All right, sorry, it's push to talk. Yeah, it was an interesting race. Kind of just cruised around. You know, I kind of just did this to bank some points. Like I'm a little. I thought about jumping down to the LMP2, but you know, I figured I could just bank some points. But it was fun. I'm not the best at Road Atlanta, so this is probably one of the best. Or Road Atlanta, sorry, Road America. This is probably one of the good thing that there was no one else racing. But yeah, it was fun. I got to kind of watch some other people's races and stuff. So
it's interesting, right? Because it's got to be somewhat surreal when you're all by yourself, and no matter who you're passing, that no matter what happens, you're going to be winning the race. How do you maintain focus and approach this race differently to what you would a more traditional one?
Oh, I'll be honest, I did not. During the first probably 15, 20 minutes, I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was talking to some other people in Discord. I was listening to music. I mean, after a certain point, and this kind of goes along with endurance racing just in general, but you just kind of get into like a groove. I even had Discord open on my monitor at one point, and I couldn't see kind of like the right part of my screen a little bit. And so I was just like, I didn't know where the apexes were. I just knew, because you're just kind of like, you're just in a groove, right? So I was very much just chillaxed. I was, if I was coming up on people, I didn't make weird moves. I just let them race, let them battle. I just kind of hung out for this race.
Well, going forward, good points on the day for you today. What's going to be the game plan in 2 weeks when we rock up to Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach is going to be a good one. I'm hoping there's going to be more, people driving. I think, hoping Ryan's there, and I think his name's Brian. I think the other is the
Kevin.
GCP, and hopefully Oh, sorry, Kevin.
Kyle,
yes.
sorry.
Or Kyle, yeah. It was a very generic name, but I'm hoping they'll be there. I'm hoping we get more people. The GTP is such a fun thing. I love multi-class racing, and so I'm really hoping. We just went to Long Beach a couple weeks ago in the IMSA official series, so I have a decent amount of practice done. So I think I'll be pretty set off. I just need to manage traffic there and keep it clean. A little mistake and end your race.
Well, congratulations as far as congratulations will go for taking the win here today in GTP, and we'll see you in 2 weeks in California.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
Christian Hill coming home number 1 on the afternoon, and we're going to move things on down to Trent Blalock. Jacob, you've caught up with our LMP2 winner.
All right, sorry.
There we go.
My
There
mic
we
was
go.
muted. Trent, how are you feeling, man? Big day. Big day for the team and yourself here. You got to be feeling great, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I feel great. Great first
Yeah.
race of the league, so yeah, it went good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Now, obviously, you were in front for most of the day. There was a specific moment, right, in that when that second pit stop was getting taken, and I believe you were hopping Tyler Agostino in the pits. Did you know that he was going to be on that cycle when you pitted before him? What was kind of the move with the pit strategy towards the end there, right? I know that there's a lot that goes into when those pit stops get decided. Did you know that he had made a mistake? Did you want to capitalize on it? What was the thinking like in the strategy in that final 30 minutes there?
No, I pitted a lap early on my first stint, try to undercut Brax, and so I had one less lap of fuel, so I had to pit that lap.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, this has been, this was an absolutely chaotic race, right? With you guys being up front for most of the day, how did it look from your perspective, right? There was a lot going on in all 4 classes, especially LMP2, a lot of chaos. It wasn't the 1-2 finish that you guys wanted, but with that being said, how did the race overall feel? Did you feel that the team's got any big problems to address? What's kind of the situation moving forward with you guys?
I think everything went good. I know we got to clean up a few mistakes, especially hitting teammate, but everything went well. So I just wish we had more GTPs. I wish we need to do a little more work on recruiting. We need to try to fill this thing up.
I mean, hey, that was a banger first race, no doubt about it. I mean, that if there's anything that'll go for recruiting, it'll definitely be that. So, but again, you had a great race, Trent. Super glad to see you here. Congratulations, and yeah, that's all I got for you. Go enjoy your win, brother.
Appreciate it.
So that was Trent Blalock coming home here from the LMP2 category. No sign of Alex Cofford, so we will instead look to bring down Parker Standray, the winner of the GTDM category. And Parker, it was a bit of a wild outing for you here on this one. I know a bit of a surprise win for you, given what happened around the first round of pit stop cycles, but hey, you take a commanding win by 57 seconds. How are you feeling after that one? Mr. Parker Standray, do we have you?
He's speechless again.
We are having a lot of speeches. There. Oh, we might have him now. Parker, do we got you?
Oh,
There we go.
There we go.
hey!
But Parker, obviously, you're coming off of first win of the season in a brand new league. How are you feeling for it?
Speechless. Surprised. No idea.
It was a commanding win at that, 57 seconds. Strategy calls seem to be pretty open and shut for the GT3 field here this afternoon. Did you have a plan going in, or were you kind of just feeling it out as it went?
I had a plan to get to the first pit stop. Anything after that to the finish was on the fly.
Well, looking forward, it's obviously a long season ahead of you. It's one race, still a lot of chances for this to go either way. Long Beach is up next. It's arguably a track that is a polar opposite from Road America. It's short, it's tight, it's bumpy. What's the game plan when we run out to California?
I'm actually not going to be at Long Beach. My next race is Sebring.
Well, what's going to be the case at Sebring then? It's a longer track, but still bumpy.
Don't die, because those bumps can catch me out, especially in the Huracan.
Well, that is certainly one way to go about it. And hey, finishing the race, it's a good way to start off going for another race win. Well, we'll wish you the best of luck, and when we see you in a month when we swing down to Florida. So that was Parker Stendre coming home number 1 in GTDM this afternoon. Doesn't look that we'll have Alex Coffer to give us a chat here on the afternoon, but Jacob, round 1 in the books just like that. It felt like no time at all, and race 2 only 2 weeks away.
Right? I mean, what an absolutely insane season this is going to be. You can already tell this is going to be a banger league with a bunch of banger races coming at you one after another every other Tuesday. If you have trouble with dates and times, same time as last time, we will be headed to Long Beach, and it is going to be an absolute slugfest. Mark your calendar. Stay tuned.
Well, when we go racing next time up on Green Flag TV, it will be tomorrow night when we duke it out at the VSCA Sports Car Championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. Don't forget to tune in as well to the MCR's final race at the Fuji International Speedway. Watkins Glen will host Highlight Type Racer League on Monday, and then a triple header on Tuesday. We start with Aspire in the morning at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, followed by the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series at Michigan, alongside the Silver Fox Racing Late Model Stock Championship at the Richmond Raceway. And then the Mystic Racer League NASCAR Castaway Glass Company Series will be at Irwindale on Thursday. If you want to find out more about who we are, what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenfly.tv. Once again, my name has been Nola Rempel, alongside Jake McCullough, bringing you all the action from start to finish. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will be racing once again when we duke it out in Long Beach.